We can add a little bit of, What if I told you you could get more clicks, more wish lists, and more bookings for your Airbnb by just changing one thing? Now we're essentially talking one click, one switch, and one setting away from an avalanche of more bookings. But before we get there, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Kelvin Ma. I've studied over 15,000 Airbnb listings from multiple countries and tracked them over a year to bring you these insights. Now, we found 12 specific things that are incredibly helpful for improving your leading indicators. But right now, I want to tell you just one. It's simple and it has to do with moms. Because ultimately, if moms love you, you're gonna get the bookings. And that makes complete sense because women make up over 70% of all travel related decisions. Now I'm talking about a pack and play travel crib. If you've never thought about putting a travel crib in your listing, you need to do that right now. Just look at the data that we collected. We analyzed thousands of listings, and what we saw was that nearly every single time a travel crib was added, it improved click-through rates, wish lists, and most importantly, occupancy. Plus, it's just one less thing for families and moms to worry about. By checking the crib amenity, you're gonna appear in more filtered searches that exclude roughly 40 to 50% of your competitors who haven't bothered to add this one feature into their listing. So, bye-bye competitors. All right, so how can we get more bookings for everyone beyond just this one amenity? Well, my answer is to focus on three main areas. The best way to think about this is like a funnel. At the top, we have filtering, and that's about getting more visibility. And in the middle, we have clicks. You've got to ultimately get more clicks than your competitors. It's that simple, and we'll talk about doing that. And at the bottom, we have booking, which is about fighting the final round, actually getting people to book with you and unblocking yourself from that. All right, let's get started. Phase number one, fight the filter. Everything a guest does before finding your listing is filtering. They're filtering based on dates, number of guests, prices, photos, amenities, and more. So, how do you fight back? On our end, we have three simple weapons to use. Those are amenities, your title, and price. First, amenities. Go to Airbnb and see what's popular in your area. What are the essentials, features, and even safety items? However, keep in mind that not all amenities are created equal. Some are simply just too expensive, and what you want to do is you want to find the cheapest amenities with the highest ROI. Our studies show that reliably, certain amenities like the travel crib that we talked about will improve your occupancy and wish lists and clicks instantly. However, some other ones, like an iron and a freezer, are really easy to add too. You might even already have these items, so make sure they're checked off. In fact, data shows that listings with a full freezer have a 15% higher average daily rate than those with just a mini fridge. All right, next, fight using your title. This is a hidden gem of a tactic. It's completely underutilized and it's a double whammy. This is because it helps you on Airbnb, but it also helps you to get search traffic on Google too. If you search Las Vegas pool on Airbnb as you're typing in the city search, you'll see a whole bunch of listings get suggested that pop up underneath because of that particular keyword. This just proves how important the title is to the Airbnb algorithm. If you aren't sure how to write a great title, just steal our formula. First, write the primary hook, then a point of interest, then an amenity. You have to ask yourself, what draws searchers in? What are you near? What makes your place special? Finally, let's talk about price, and I don't mean Airbnb smart pricing. I mean using Airbnb's internal promotions, such as weekly discounts, monthly discounts, and potentially the early bird and new listing discounts if you want. These internal promotions will help you get included in Airbnb's retargeting campaigns, emails, and get you a whole bunch of visual highlights on the search page, such as the strike-through price, which can drive a 25% higher click-through rate. Now, if you want to level up, we need to talk about demand spikes. If your impressions are spiking on certain dates, you have leverage. You can push your prices higher. Or if you need a booking, capture the booking by lowering your price for those high interest dates. On a similar note, if your listing has high rankings, you have more freedom to push your rates higher until you see negative impact in your rankings. If you want some help setting this up, just look at the links below. Now that we've fought the filter in phase 1, let's talk about phase 2, winning more clicks. This comes down to photo quality, emotional appeal, and ordering. You have to stop the scroll. It's just like Instagram. Your first 10 photos are critical. If you have a great amenity like backyard games, don't hide that at the end of your gallery. Put it in the first 10 photos. Don't worry if it doesn't flow like a walking property tour, that doesn't matter. When people click on Airbnb using the thumbnails on the search page, they're not gonna click 50 times to reach your backyard games. You need to put that right at the start so it's much more obvious and gets guests to click on your listing fully to open up the page. Now, to help us understand this a little bit better visually, I thought I would add some real life A/B tests. Okay, so here we have 2 photos. The first photo is a collage with 3 images of a pool, hot tub, and fire pit. And on the other image, we have a single photo of a pool. Now, which listing do you think is going to win? If you guessed a single photo, you're right. It beat the collage by 166%. Now, I think there's a few reasons why, but the main reason to me is that the collage isn't done as well as it could be. It's missing borders that separate the images, and it just looks like a visual mess when there aren't any sharp borders around. Also, on a mobile screen, a collage can become more of a puzzle that people are just gonna ignore, whereas a single high quality hero shot creates an instantly clear emotional vibe. However, collages can definitely still beat a single photo, and we have an example here where the result was 202% better than competitors. Now you might be wondering, how is it possible to get over 100%? And the reason for that is because we are measuring the difference between ourselves and our competitors. So in this particular case, our listings click-through rates went up while our competitors went down. All right, so let's look at a different example. We have 2 photos here. The first photo we have is of a nice modern living room with some art on the wall versus a clean bedroom with blue and white pillows. So which one is the winner to you? I'll wait right here for you to think about it a little bit. If you're anything like me, you would have guessed the living room, and we would be wrong. The bedroom photo was actually the one that performed better, and it outperformed the living room by 174%. And this isn't uncommon either. We have early indicators right now that bedroom photos tend to outperform, and that's a bit of a surprise for me too. However, that doesn't mean we don't test different photos out that aren't bedrooms. We just don't know until it's in the wild. Plus, your performance can change as competitors change their listings and new ones come online too. So that's why we always test it and measure the changes in RankBreeze. All right, let's zoom back out. Now the guests have clicked and they're on our listing. This is the bottom of the funnel. We're in the trenches now, and we need to absolutely dominate this final round. First, we have to get real guests to wishlist the listing. This prioritizes the listing to Airbnb's algorithm, and they'll add it to different campaigns, including emails and the personalization of search pages. This is why recently wishlisted listings always show up number 1 when the guest comes back to continue their search. Now, to get more wish lists, let's just start simply by asking for the wish list. So make sure that you write that into the description at the top and the bottom, and potentially including your photos as well. Some guests are brand new to Airbnb and have never wish listed anything before. So make sure you put on your hospitality hat and teach them how and where to click on that heart. Also, we know and have the data that says that if you turn on certain settings, amenities, or policies, you will get a boost in wish lists. We already mentioned one at the beginning, which was the travel crib. So if you turn that on, you'll get more wish lists along with clicks and occupancy. Next, check your cancellation policy. Don't have a policy that's strictly out of the norm in your area. If everyone is flexible and you have a super strict or firm cancellation policy, you're basically just hurting yourself for no reason. Now, we've collected data that's proven strict policies can rank very well, but that's only if your market can support that and if the majority of your competitors already have that as well. So it's best to give a more flexible cancellation policy and just get the booking conversion. Guests will always take advantage of your flexible cancellation policies negatively, and they'll cancel before they arrive. But when that cancellation comes, you know that the Airbnb algorithm is gonna have your back because it's happened time and time again. Whenever you get a cancellation, you will likely get another booking because your booking probability for your listing hasn't changed at all. In fact, it's only improved. Finally, turn on Instant Book. You can still set requirements for the quality of guests you want to book instantly, but you have to have it on. Don't get in the way of money. We live in a world of self-service access, and if you don't have Instant Book turned on, you're just getting in the way of guests wanting to give you money. That's it. I think we have enough now, and I think you're better off than you were at the beginning of this video. It's all about fighting the filter, winning more clicks, and winning the final round to get that booking. So good luck. If you want to maximize your listings, make sure you hit the subscribe button and watch the next video. And if you need some extra help, reach out below. See you in the next video.